Alrighty, and welcome back to the Mother-Daughter Disney Podcast. I'm so excited for this episode because we just got back from Disney less than a week ago. So today we're just going to recap our trip and then talk about kind of how it went, what we did, and yeah, all that fun stuff.
Seems like it was so far ago already.
I know, it was only a couple days ago if you really think about it. So, all right, so we arrived on both on Saturday. So
Yes.
You actually drove down. So,
Yes. We drove down again, which was a good thing this time because the weather was all over the place. It was one of those Disney weeks where it's cold, hot, cold. You don't know what it's going to be. It's possibly going to rain. It's not going to rain. And, you need a sweatshirt. You don't need a sweatshirt. So I overpacked. Okay. I overpacked. But I used almost everything because it did. It went from hot to cold.
You had the car, so you could overpack.
So we
it was easy
overpacked.
to, yeah.
We were pleasantly surprised going down. We stayed at Santee at the Fairfield. And I have to admit, the Fairfield Inn in Santee, South Carolina was an absolute great experience. Really, really nice hotel. And then we drove in and picked up Amanda at the airport. Yeah. And that's where our vacation started.
Yeah, so I arrived on the Saturday. My flight landed around 1:30. And then for the first half of the trip, we were staying at the Marriott Grand Vista, which is kind of like a timeshare type place because my parents used to be owners at Marriott Timeshare. They no longer are. They sold their shares back to Marriott. But this was our last time staying there as on their owner points, so to speak.
Yes.
And yeah, when the night we arrived, we were visiting our family friends. We didn't do anything Disney related. So the real Disney trip started on Sunday and we had a full day in Epcot. So first up, I'm just going to give the brief overview. So we had breakfast at Trattoria Al Forno, which is along the boardwalk. Our snack that day was at the China Pavilion.
Oh, that's right.
And we had dinner at Les Celliers. And I thought for each day, we were just kind of go over what our highlight of the day was and then maybe an improvement for the day that we would change for next time or something like that. So what would your highlight be for the day?
Well, I think my highlight for Epcot was the land. I love it.
Oh, living with the land?
Yeah, living with the land. I love that it's Christmas. I love that as soon as I know it's Christmas, I have to go at night. We want to go at night. So, we wanted to save it to go at night. I really, really, really love that ride. And that was the highlight for me of Epcot that day. We did all the normal stuff. It was a long day. That's why we didn't stay for the fireworks that night because it was a long day. Because of the way our tickets were spaced out this time, we did a lot of long days. So Epcot was the first long day. And because Dad wasn't working, he was with us all day. But I have to say that my highlight was going through the land decorated for Christmas.
Yeah, I would say mine was Journey of Water because I love the Journey of Water walkthrough exhibit. We had not done that before. So the first time walking through, it was just so exciting. I just didn't really know what to expect. I thought it was so fun. I feel like it reminded me of a very classic Disney attraction. When you walk through, it's very educational about the cycle of water and where water comes from and how important it is for water conservation. But it's all themed to Moana, which is very fun. But I feel even when you're walking through, you hear the Moana music the entire time, but you don't necessarily see Moana everywhere. There's little hints of it all around. Of course, you see Te Fiti, which is the big thing. Yes. For most of the little walkthrough things, you don't necessarily, it's not in your face Disney characters, but it's a learning fun experience, which I think is really cool. And I absolutely loved it.
It was very nice.
It was definitely crowded when we walked through. There are lots of people. And I will say too, the vlog series for this trip is going to start tomorrow. So today, when the podcast comes out, is a Monday. The vlog will come out on Tuesday. So tomorrow, the first episode is going to come out, and that will feature this entire day. So everything we're talking about for at least for Sunday at Epcot, is there. And so you'll kind of see me go through, and I get so excited just seeing all the things. A lot of the interactives, there's multiple spots, multiple sections you can interact with. So the first one, it's super crowded. There's probably more down the row. So just trying to maybe walk down and see one, that's maybe not as crowded. And I feel when we went, people were pretty respectful that no one hogged, one thing too long or anything.
I have to say as a whole, let's just say this as a whole for the vacation. We did not really run into anybody who was obnoxious.
Everyone was pretty respectful.
Yes, everybody was super nice and in a good mood.
Yeah, no, for sure. And again, especially in this attraction too, because you think that some people would want to just play with the thing for a long time. For the most part, no, a lot of people where they would play with it, they would do it a few times, maybe take a photo and video, and then they would move on, and then you could go up and do it. So you never had to wait a super long time or anything. But I thought it was so much fun. I love the Journey of Water. So also throughout the day, I thought I just mentioned the other rides we went on during the day was Guardians of the Galaxy. I did the virtual queue to get on Guardians of the Galaxy. We went on Spaceship Earth. We did the 3 Caballeros, the Living with the Land, which my mom just mentioned, Journey of Water, and at night we did watch part of the Candlelight Procession. And at night our celebrity host was John Stamos.
So,
so that was very exciting.
He did a good job.
It's funny too because I just edited this vlog as well. In the vlog as well, I was talking about how people started getting online for John Stamos at like 2:30, and the show wasn't until about 5:15, I think was the first show or something.
It always amazes me that people need to sit all the way up front to see them up close when we just stood in the back.
Yeah, we just stood in the back and
which
watched.
actually worked out for us because it was raining when he was talking. So sitting in those front rows, you would have just been sitting in the rain.
Yeah.
Well,
no, I think the first few rows are covered.
Are they covered by the stage thing? But he did a good job. It was very, very impressive to see.
Yeah, no, for sure. All right, and then what would your improvement for the day be?
Well, a big improvement was Les Cellier.
Oh, yeah,
if
for
we
sure.
want to go over,
that was the same for mine, too.
Yeah, if we're going to get to our food after this, let me just give you a preference that we had not been to Les Cellier in a very long time, and last time we were there, we were not happy.
For the same reason, which is ironic.
Let's say we were not happy again.
Yeah. Real quick, Les Cellier is the main restaurant in the Canadian Pavilion.
Right, and it's very, very popular because it does have a very nice menu, a very good menu. And because it was so popular, the only reservation I could get was $4.20 in the afternoon. And I said, you know what? By the time we go at $4.20, by the time we sit down, I'm usually hungry by 5 o'clock anyway. So I said, you know what we'll do? We wanted to do some of the rides at night. I said, so let's go for the early dinner and do whatever. We get there and the first words out of their mouths are, well, we're running about 40 minutes late.
Well, she said 30 to 40 minutes.
Okay, so we said, okay, what's the big deal? We weren't in any hurry anyway. So, we went and took a seat. And then we proceeded to watch everybody get annoyed. Yeah. Everybody.
Well, now, note too, it's still raining outside. Yes. So people are like now, because normally if you're waiting, they'll say like, we'll send you a text message when your table is ready.
You can go outside.
So they say you can go out, you can walk around, you can do whatever you want. Okay. But because it was raining, no one wanted to wait outside because it was raining. So everyone wanted to wait in this small little lobby.
I also have to say that at Les Cellier, their service is it. Not only did they tell us they were running late, but they did give us a warning that when they sent us the text, we only had a few minutes to get back.
Well, no, they said you had 10 minutes.
10 minutes. They said, be sure, 10 minutes. You don't make it back in 10 minutes, we're going to give your table away. Well, we didn't have to
really that strict about that. But
the
she
guy
just said,
was that was standing on the side.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was so funny because, like I said, nobody was getting a table. What did we wait, over an hour? It was like a little over an hour.
It was almost exactly an hour.
Yeah, about an hour we waited for a table. But we weren't as upset as some of the other people because other people had paid to do the show.
Yeah, the candlelight
processional. So their attitude was that they did this session so that they could eat. And they ate a full meal on that. They get appetizer, dinner, dessert, the whole thing. So, and then you have to wait for the service. You have to wait for everything. So they were getting nervous because now they have to get stuck in the restaurant and now they're not getting over to where they need to be early enough to get their nice seats or do whatever has to be done. So they were getting a little bit more annoyed than us. So if I had to fix something, I think Les Cellier should fix their time management.
Yeah, no, I had the same thing
because the food was good.
Yeah, I had the same thing too, just the wait for Les Cellier.
And the service was excellent.
Because again, this is why 12 years ago when we went, it was the same problem where we were waiting over an hour with your priority seating. And I realize it's only priority seating, but it's still kind of crazy that it's like you're waiting over an hour to sit down.
Just to sit down. But also, we also never went back because what happened is when we used to go, they used to have a lunch menu and a dinner menu. So if you went, they used to have a hamburger on the menu. They used to have other things on the menu. Now they've changed it to an all-day full dinner menu. So it's a very heavy menu for people to go and find stuff to eat. So we kind of shied away from it to a certain extent for two reasons. One is because we know that their time management is bad and that they were a very heavy menu.
Yeah.
But I have to say the food was good.
Yeah, the food
and
was
the waitress
amazing.
was wonderful.
I would say food-wise in the parks, that was one of the best meals I've had in the parks by far. So it was definitely great food. And our waitress was so nice. Everyone who worked there was really nice.
Really nice.
Again, it was just the fact that we waited an hour. Yeah. And so it's like, because by the time, again, we had like a 4:20, 4:30 reservation. By the time we sat down, it was 5:30. By the time we ate, it was 6. And the irony was that my mom was saying she originally wanted like around a 6 p.m.
A 6 o'clock reservation. So we ate when we wanted
and that's exactly what we got. So in a way, it all worked out.
Yeah,
but
it was fine.
Pretty wild.
We weren't as upset as everybody else.
People were getting pretty upset though in the lobby.
We also had a seat,
reasons.
so that made it easier too. We had a seat to sit down, and
it was kind of funny too because as we were waiting, it was like now like what? It's like 5 o'clock or something like that, 5:15, and people were waiting. They're like, "What time was your reservation?" I'm like, well, we were about 4:20, 4:30, and they're like, "Well, we were 5 o'clock, and now it's like 5:15, and you're still waiting."
They get nervous.
The 4:20. I'm like, yeah. So strap yourselves in, guys. You're going to be here till at least 6:30.
And the problem with Epcot is it's not like you could say, "Oh, hell with this. Take me off my reservation. I'll go someplace else."
There's nowhere else to go.
There is no place else. Everything is packed by that time. It's nighttime. It's dinner time. People are like walking with the food in their hands.
The lines for the booths are so long.
So long. You know? All the restaurants are packed up. So you can't really go anywhere else unless you're going to leave the park and just give it up. So we did. We sat patiently and waited, and it was worth it in the long run because we did have a good dinner.
No, for sure.
What was yours?
That was it.
That was it.
That was the same thing. Yeah. Do you have any other highlights or things that you wanted to mention about this day?
No. No, I think that was really great was that even the statue of Disney when they did.
So that is later on in the trip.
Oh, that's later on because they didn't open it that day.
So
okay, we'll get to that.
Yeah,
okay.
on this day on Sunday, the walls were still up around World Celebration Gardens.
Sorry,
the
I got my days confused.
And Epcot Forever was still the nighttime show because when we were there, that was everything got unveiled.
Yes,
later in the
we
week,
did not get to Epcot Forever because by the time they pushed the shows out till 9:30, which is part of my problem because I like 9 o'clock because that's early. That's late enough for me to see them and then have to get back to the hotel and do all that stuff. I guess that's something got to improve
too.
Yes, put them back on 9 o'clock.
A little earlier. Well, I think they do that because if you want to do Magic Kingdom fireworks, then you have enough time to get over and do Epcot fireworks.
Yes, so, I'm sure a lot of people love that they're at 9:30.
Yeah, because you can do both, which is kind of fun to do. But at the same time, though, it's like we're dragging and we're tired. You know, we're like, no, I need to go back to. And at this point, too, again, we had been out all day, so it was tiring. The only other thing I want to mention is that our snack during the day was at the China Pavilion. For the Festival of the Holidays, the China Pavilion currently has a veggie spring roll, which is so good. And I wish they had more veggie options at the China Pavilion because I am vegetarian and I love pot stickers, dumplings, spring rolls, egg rolls,
because that stuff is good. I really like.
But most
food.
of it has pork in it, which is the normal like Chinese ways to have pork in the food, so that's totally fine. But yeah, I just wish they had the veggie spring roll year round because it was very good and it is a great little snack during the day.
That's our typical snack. By that time we're usually around China and we sit down and relax and have something. So I was glad they had the veggie rolls for you.
Yeah, that was good. All right, so the next day on Monday we went to Magic Kingdom.
Another long day.
Another long day. So we first started off with breakfast at the Grand Floridian Cafe. We had a snack at Liberty Square Market and our dinner was at Skipper Canteen. So the rides and attractions that we did was the monorail loop. So after breakfast, we had gone to all the other like resorts, on the monorail to see their Christmas decorations. I did the Tron ride twice. We'll kind of get into Tron in a second. We went on Haunted Mansion, the People Mover, Carousel of Progress, and we did get to see Happily Ever After at night, which is very lovely.
Yes.
So, all right, what were some of your highlights for this day?
Well, the highlights were the decorations.
I had that too, seeing all the Christmas decor.
As soon as you get there, you just feel like, Epcot is decorated for Christmas and it feels like Christmas, but not as much as the Magic Kingdom.
Oh, yeah,
when you get
to
when you get to the main street and the tree and all the decorations and the shops and the stuff going on, and it just gives you that Christmas feel of being in Disney at Christmas. And as I was mentioning to Amanda, because when they were little kids and we used to go, we've been there at Christmas time a couple of times. They don't do as much as they used to. I have to admit, little by little, they've been removing some of the decorations, removing some of the excess. It was over the top the first time I had ever gone. But even without some of that other stuff, it was still magical down that road, and that is just so magical to see.
No, for sure. I actually had it more in the resorts than in the park because when you first walk into the Grand Floridian, you see these two huge trees. Yes. You see the gigantic.
I didn't know we were doing the resorts. Okay.
Oh yeah, no, I'm doing it the whole day for the most part.
I'm telling you, we jam-packed an awful lot into this vacation.
I love seeing the gingerbread display too in the Grand Floridian. It smells so amazing. Everything looks so good. It's so pretty. It's so detailed. I think is the thing too. Like the detail in it is amazing. I guess I didn't mention this, but on the day before and when we went to Epcot, we did go into the Boardwalk Resort,
which was my favorite.
And we saw their lobby too for Christmas, and it was just so amazing. And the Boardwalk Deli gingerbread display they have, I think, was my favorite out of all of them.
The detail,
but it's just amazing when you see
it.
It's just so beautiful, and the artistry behind it is just amazing. So I love seeing that. I loved going to all the resorts and just seeing how the resorts were decorated with their different decorations themed to the resort and everything. So that was super fun. And that was one of my favorite parts of the day. Really, just seeing and even in Magic Kingdom too, again, because we hadn't been in Christmas in a couple years.
Right.
So it was fun seeing all the garland down Main Street, seeing the
That's
tree.
why we try to jam in the hotels too, because we want to see those decorations, even though we're spending time at and for us, because we were staying off property for the first few days, that makes it a little more difficult too. When we're staying on property, we can kind of come and move our days around and come and go. Where when you're staying off property and your car is parked in a lot, you're not walking all the way back to the car to go do something else and come back. So we tried to keep everything in the day.
Yeah, don't mind if you can hear my cat in the background. She's also with us today. All right, what was one of your improvements for the day, or a few improvements?
I think we should have used Genie Plus. That was my improvement.
Yeah, basically, to just put it out there, the day that we went, Magic Kingdom was very crowded. It was much more crowded than I think we anticipated it to be, because the rest of the week was not that crowded in comparison to that one day.
Yes, Magic Kingdom was the worst.
So for a random Monday, it was just very crowded, and all the lines were very long. So for instance, we waited 20 minutes online for Pirates of the Caribbean. The ride broke down. They cleared the line. We didn't get on it. Right. We waited over an hour for Haunted Mansion. I think we actually waited exactly an hour for Haunted Mansion. We waited online for People Mover. And because our family friend was visiting us that day, so she was in the park, when we were waiting online for Haunted Mansion, on that line, I was thinking to myself, I was like, we need to do Genie Plus. But I did want to ask our family friend to also do it, because then also we'd have to sync up the times we got for Genie Plus. It just wouldn't really have worked out. But in that moment, I was just saying, it's like, we need to do Genie Plus because this is ridiculous.
Right. Up till now, I've been one of those people that say, okay, I've already paid so much to get into the park. I've paid so much to stay where we stay and do what we do and all the food and all the stuff. It's like, why do I need to pay more just to do that? And now I realize that my time is worth it, because I got to tell you, we needed it that day. And after we did it, as we'll explain as the week goes on, it was definitely worth it.
Yeah.
I don't care. It was worth it. And especially some of the days when it's just me and Amanda, especially, it's not that expensive if it's just the two of us. It's not like there's 4 or 5 of us doing it. It's just the two of us. It is definitely worth it because we did make better use of our time, and it wasn't as tiring as it was the first day.
Here's the thing, when you're just standing online, it just tires you out. Just standing, barely moving. The other improvement for the day I would have, so let's talk about Tron real quick.
Okay, I didn't go on Tron.
The thing with Tron was that in the morning, I got a virtual queue, so we signed up for the virtual queue, and we also did the lightning lane, the pay per attraction lightning lane as well. And the reason for that was because my dad wasn't coming to the park until later in the day, and so I kind of knew the virtual queue was going to come up before he was in the park, so he also wanted to go on it. So we're like, all right, we're going to guarantee we'll go on twice, or at least I was going to go on twice. So I did the virtual queue, and then I did the lightning lane later in the day. So right when we got to Magic Kingdom, we went right over to Tron because my virtual queue was ready. Now I had known a little bit about Tron, and I know that there are lockers in Tron that you need to put your items in, since you are not allowed to bring basically anything on the ride with you because of the way you kind of sit in the ride. The only thing they have is a little tiny kind of small container, this part of the ride that could fit a phone and maybe your sunglasses, and that's about it. So you really can't take much on the ride with you. But before I went on, I wasn't sure how big that container was. So I decided I'm not going to bring anything. I gave my mom my bag, my phone, my mini ears, everything, and I got online. The day previously, when I did Guardians of the Galaxy with virtual queue, I waited about 30 minutes on the virtual queue. It wasn't really that long, so I expected maybe it'll be about another 30 minutes on the virtual queue. I waited an hour 15 minutes on the virtual queue by myself with no phone. So I couldn't even tell my mom I'm still online. It's just taking a while. And even when I got online, in my head I thought to myself, this is going to take a while, but I couldn't tell my mom that because I left my phone with her down in
no
the main part of Tomorrowland.
See what happens? You just get so used to that.
Yeah, and so I even tried to text her from my Apple Watch, but I couldn't because my phone was too far away, and I don't pay for service for my Apple Watch. It needs to be off my phone. So I waited an hour and 50 minutes. That's not the worst thing in the world, because it's all right, you have a virtual queue that you're not guaranteed. They always say you're going to wait a little bit. So I was like, okay, that's fine. So then you finally get onto the ride, and then you're on the ride. You kind of strap yourself in, whatever, you straddle this thing. I would say if you don't like being on your tummy, you definitely would not like this ride because all of your weight is going to be on your tummy. So I know some people don't like that feeling. For me, I didn't have a lot of weight on my knees or my shins. I know some people feel the weight in their knees or shins. I guess the way I sat down, I put all my weight onto my tummy. So I guess it depends where you're going to put your own weight. And then my other piece of advice too, the way you kind of lock yourself in is you have to pull the handlebars closer to you, so to speak. I would say to pull them very slowly and very gently, so that way when it locks in, it's not too tight, because it'll bring this metal bar kind of against your calves very gently, so you're you can't move your legs up or anything. And I know some people, I think, were pulling it too tight, and then the bar would hit their calves really hard, and then it would hurt their calves. So I'd say pull it very gently, and then there is a little bit of leeway, because later on when my dad went on with me, Dad was sitting up in the seat. He's like, look at all this leeway. He's like, this isn't safe.
Yeah, he's got little skinny legs.
Well, I told him, I was like, you're not supposed to be sitting up like that in this ride. So it's just supposed to be so you're not clamped down on your tummy. The ride is very short, and I kind of knew that going in. A lot of people were saying that the ride was short, so I did film it. I have not edited this vlog yet, but the second time I went on with my dad, I filmed the whole thing. I brought my phone that time, put my phone in that little container that's on the ride itself, and I filmed the whole thing. I think the ride part itself, again, you get on the ride, it does this little zoomy thing to the start of the ride, so to speak, and then you launch off, and then you're doing the roller coaster part. Then after the roller coaster part, then you kind of stop again, and then you're waiting for the people before you to deboard. Then you deboard, and that time can kind of vary, I think, depending upon how slow or fast the people in front of you are deboarding. But the time of the actual roller coaster part, I feel like it's 45 seconds. It is not very long. I think people timed it, and it's about a minute to a minute and a half, but it does not feel long when you're on the ride. And I also stand by the fact too that in the beginning of the ride, she says in order to win the race, because you're doing the Tron race, in order to win the race, you have to go through 8 rings. I feel like I only counted 6 both times I went on, so I'm not sure where the last 2 rings were, because you do win the race obviously, but I don't know. I feel like the next time I have to go on. And then the second time too, I really counted the rings, and I only counted 6, so I'm not sure where the last 2 rings were. I think I must have miscounted maybe in the beginning or something. I'm not sure, but again, I would say yeah, Tron could be a little bit longer. I would say the roller coaster part itself, I think could have been a little bit longer, considering it's such a big ride. It's a really fun ride, I would say, if it was just
after
a little
all
bit
that
longer.
effort.
Yeah, and I think the struggle with Tron 2 is that because it came out after Guardians of the Galaxy is a very long indoor roller coaster. So you go on that roller coaster. It's also a unique ride system as well for a roller coaster, the way you kind of like spin around in Guardians of the Galaxy. So I think going from a long coaster like Guardians of the Galaxy that has a super immersive like storyline in it to going to Tron that also has an immersive storyline, but then it's a much like shorter coaster.
Shorter term.
You just feel the difference, I think, is the thing. Like you really do feel the difference, especially to have that coaster right next to Space Mountain. Space Mountain is like known to be like a long indoor roller coaster. To have one of the longest indoor roller coasters next to one of the shortest indoor roller coasters is just wild to me. So that is my little thing on Tron, but that kind of goes back to Genie Plus because I stood and I waited an hour and 15 minutes for Tron. I sat down for 90 seconds for the ride and then I stood back up. Then we went to Pirates of the Caribbean. I stood for 20 minutes in line for Pirates. Then the ride shut down. Then we did get a snack, but we didn't sit down for the snack because then we went in line for Haunted Mansion and we waited an hour in line for Haunted Mansion. At that point, then we went shopping on Main Street.
Oh God!
So at this point, my legs were killing. They were dying.
Yes, we were very tired.
I spent this whole day standing. I was like, I need to sit down for a few minutes. By the time we got to Carousel Progress, it was so lovely just to
sit down. I know.
That was my little thing to improve the day. Sorry to go on a rant there.
Well, like I said, I think it's unfortunately with Disney now, it's a lot of planning.
Yeah.
Years ago, it wasn't that. You just didn't do that. Even with the fast passes, you'd go get a fast pass. Okay, we'll go over that. We'll go over to this. We'll do something in between. It's not that way anymore. And because of our schedule, we did 2 very long days.
Yes.
And like I said, Magic Kingdom was not the best day. We'll have to just replan that next time because it was not the best day. So by the end of that day.
But it did end lovely because the food at Skipper Canteen was pretty good.
It was very good.
It was good. Mm-hmm. And of course, Happily Ever After, I think, is the best nighttime show in Disney World.
That was worth waiting for. And I have to say, this is the first time also. I went in with the expectations that people and their attitudes that lately have been very bad. Who's pushing, who's shoving, who's cutting in front, who's doing this,
well,
who's
you're seeing
doing
a lot of it on Instagram too, like all like these stories of people cutting in line and being rude to cast members or guests.
And I got to tell you, I went in with the expectations and we kind of discussed it. And I told my husband, I said, don't even look at anybody funny. They cut in front of you, let them cut in front of you. We're in no hurry.
We're not starting any fights.
Yeah, no fights. We don't want to be kicked out of Disney for no reason, because that's what it escalates to, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And the thing is that I went in with that expectation of just be calm, just let everything go past you. Don't even. And I got to say, even when we were watching the fireworks, nobody got in our way. Nobody shoved. Nobody had gotten into an argument as who was in front of who. People were actually being very courteous. There was a person in two scooters in front of us. They were being courteous to those people. I got to tell you, I was impressed that while we were standing there watching the fireworks, everybody was really being courteous to each other.
Yeah, no, it really was.
Which was a nice Christmas feeling.
yes.
Maybe it was like a Christmas miracle.
I feel like the Christmas spirit was just in the air because I definitely agree. Because even the other day on Instagram, I saw people were fighting in front of that Disney 100 sign in Magic Kingdom to like take a photo in front of it. Later on the week when we went back to Epcot, I wanted to take a photo of the front of Epcot where it said Festival of the Holidays, like the sign for it. And this large family was there and they were taking photos in front of it. They were like switching everyone out to take individual photos. But there were a lot of people waiting kind of around. And I just wanted a photo of the sign without anyone in it. Like I didn't, I was just like waiting for them to leave. Then another family was like kind of sneaking in slowly. And a woman across the way started yelling at her, being like, there's a line over here. We've been waiting for so long. And she was yelling at the family, taking photos, yelling at the people who wanted to cut in front. Then I finally just took a quick shot and then I just left. I was like, nope, I don't need it. And then I photoshopped that photo hard and just photoshopped everyone out of the photo. So when you see that photo on Instagram, just know there were lots of people in that photo that they all got photoshopped out.
They got, well, that family was annoying everybody. But like I said, that was one of like I said, and only one person.
For a whole week, just one.
So I think Happily Ever After made everybody happy.
Yes. Anything else you want to add from Magic Kingdom?
No, I think Magic Kingdom is pretty good. We did the fireworks, we did everything, and people being really, really nice.
So on Tuesday, we went to Animal Kingdom. So we just had breakfast like in the hotel itself. Like I had a protein bar, my mom had a protein bar. We then had lunch at Yak and Yeti, and we had dinner at Enzo's Hideaway, which is in Disney Springs. So the rides that we went on was Kilimanjaro Safari, Dinosaur, Everest. We did the Maharaja Trek, which is like one of the treks that you walk through, the Gorilla Falls Trek, Flight of Passage, Navi River Journey, and then we went shopping in Disney Springs. Basically, we did everything that we like to do in Animal Kingdom.
Another long day.
Yes, but we also did do Genie Plus, so that helped us to get
it was
to
still
everything.
a long day. Okay, so my favorite part.
Yeah,
we went to the safari first thing. That was the best. Every animal was out.
Yeah, because it was like feeding time. Yeah, it was like 8:45 in the morning, so all the animals were eating.
Let me tell you, they were all there. We saw everyone. I mean, when Amanda does the vlog, I hope you showed the picture of the lions even sitting up. I mean, sometimes those lions are laying on those rocks. You can't see them. You kind of see the fur. You kind of see they were both both just sitting there watching us go by. We saw every animal. Yeah. It was a great safari. And for me, as everybody knows from hearing me every time we do this, it's my favorite. So I look forward to Animal Kingdom. And when I got there and that safari was so good, the rest of the day, I didn't care.
Yeah.
It was great. That was done.
And it was fun too, because they were all, not only were they like out and about, they were all really up close because they put their food pretty close to like the track of like where you're driving. So they were all really close too. So that was really fun to see. Like I saw 3 cheetahs. I usually just see one, but all 3 of them were out because they were
moving
being
around,
fed, which was nice. So yeah, you really got to see all the animals. We saw the elephants. We saw all the giraffes. What was funny was that as the truck was driving, the giraffe was walking in the road, but like as if it was walking on the road with us. And so we were staying there. Then a woman like with a pickup truck, came by. She had the food obviously in the back of the bed, and all the giraffes went over to the bed and started eating out of the bed. So I feel like she did that to get them off the road so that we could keep driving. But then she drove off too. So then they were all just staying there looking after her, being like, damn, all the food just drove away from us. So
I know, that was so funny.
Yeah. But one of my highlights was when we did the Maharaja trek. We hadn't done the treks in a while, and I really wanted to see the tigers. We did not get to see the tigers, sadly, because they were both sleeping like beyond the hill, which is kind of funny because recently I followed the DAK guy, and he always posts photos of the animals, and he posts a lot of photos of both. I'm forgetting their names. One of them I know is Sonny, and I think it's like Cody. I can't remember the other one's name. Editing Amanda popping in just to say the 2 Sumatran tigers in Animal Kingdom names are Sonny and Conrad. So that was the other one I couldn't remember at the time. But it's the 2 tigers that they have, and they've been very active recently. So I was really excited to see them. They were sleeping when we went, of course. But at that point, it was like 10:30, so they're probably taking their mid-morning nap. But we went through the aviary, and the aviary was so cool.
That was so cool.
I feel like that is such an underrated aviary, and like both the Gorilla Falls trek and the Maharaja trek have their own aviaries. But I feel like they're so underrated and not talked about nearly enough because it was so cool to see all the birds up close like that. They were all flying about.
They're right there. They're peacocks walking right around your feet.
Yeah, I don't think that was a peacock. I think it was a different type of bird. But
no, I asked somebody, and it was a type of peacock.
Oh, she said that because that's not what was on the card.
I asked her, I thought, and she said it was a type of peacock.
I will insert the clip here.
The regular peacock that we used to has the big long tail.
Yeah, I'll insert the clip here of what like what the board said of what that bird was. Okay, the bird we saw was a Malayan great argus, which is a type of pheasant, and a peacock is also a type of pheasant, but this is not related to the peacock. It's like its own type of pheasant. But it's called a Malayan great argus. Yeah, I know, but it was so cool just to see them all up close, and they're all like hanging about and flying around. We didn't get pooped on. I wonder who does get pooped on in there.
I know, because you see it all over the leaves, and you're like, okay, I'm going to be next.
And it was cute how some of them would come up really close to you, and then they would like leave. We watched one of them like was collecting like twigs for its little nest. So we watched it collect like twigs, and it flew up into the branches, and you saw the nest it was making with its mate. And then the peacock-like bird, it was having drama because the female version kept walking around, and she said like, oh, he's not doing anything to like impress her, so he keeps like running away when she comes close. It's just like, oh my god, the dating drama of the birds.
Yes, we
were
watching the Bachelor of the peacocks.
Yes, but it was so cute though, and I just thought that was so fun, and we hadn't done that in so long. So seeing that, and let me tell you too, the theming of both treks, especially the Maharaja trek, because it's like kind of like an Asian themed. Yeah, it was so beautiful. Like it's so amazing. It's like you're walking through like these old temples and these ruins, and all the animals are just around. So I thought that was amazing. So I really love that. Yeah, I thought that was great.
Yeah, no, they were good. Like you said, we hadn't done them in a long time, but we picked another long day to walk on our feet. But it was very nice. Yeah. Like I said, I love Animal Kingdom because as much as it has all the great rides that we like to go on, it also has all the stuff that you could just spend a day walking around and just watching and just looking enjoying, and just observing, and it's my favorite place to be.
Yeah. What was your improvement for the day? Do you have any? You didn't have
nope, that was my favorite day.
I will admit, I didn't really have anything either at first, but the only thing I would improve is that even with the pay per attraction lightning lane, we still waited about 40 minutes to get on Flight of Passage. But that was actually after we like went through and combined with the standby line. Like we just stood on that like little hill like before you get boarded on.
Yes.
For a really long time, and I'm not really sure why, honestly.
They could have had a problem.
Yeah, I wonder if like some of the rooms were closed. Is what I was thinking, that maybe some of the rooms were closed. They were only going off. Maybe if they have like 5 rooms, they were only going off 3 rooms.
Or some of the rooms they may have had to slow down because somebody had a problem.
Yeah, I don't know, but it was just like it was a very long wait, and I feel like Flight of Passage is always a long wait. So it's crazy that even with Lightning Lane, you're still waiting like a fairly long wait to get on this ride.
Compared to the 3.5 hours we waited one time, that was nothing.
Yeah. Well, we didn't wait 3.5 hours.
Yes,
it was like 2 hours.
3.5 hours.
I think it was like exactly 2 hours.
I don't think so.
It was definitely a long wait. Then we went to Disney Springs. Disney Springs is always fun. We went shopping around Disney Springs. I will say too that the decorations in Disney Springs is also really fun. They had the Christmas tree
the
stroll
Christmas tree
as well.
Strolls. They have different Christmas trees.
We didn't do the
themes.
stroll, but we
saw some of them.
So it was still nice. But then on Wednesday we went to Hollywood Studios.
Well, we didn't do the food in Animal Kingdom yet.
Oh, I talked about the food.
Yes, we ate at Yak and Yeti's. That was very good.
Oh yeah,
yes.
No, it was good.
Very, very good. It was my birthday coupon. I had birthday coupons, so we went and had a sit-down lunch, which I have to say, the one thing I guess I would improve on is not to have a big, heavy lunch, because then we got to Enzo's Hideaway, and as much as I really wanted to have pasta, I was so full from lunch that I couldn't eat dinner.
Yeah, I just had like a salad.
We had like I had an appetizer salad, so the food was very good, both restaurants.
No, I love Yak and Yeti.
Yes.
Yeah, we had never eaten at Enzo's Hideaway
Yeah,
before,
it was very cool.
Very
I thought it had a very nice atmosphere.
Yeah.
And service was good, and I thought the food was good. What I had was good, so I thought it was very good.
No, for sure.
Okay.
All right, so yeah, on Wednesday we went to Hollywood Studios. So again, we just had breakfast in the hotel because we got there for like a rope drop, so to speak, or like the earliest we could get in, which I think the park opened at 8:30 for us. We had lunch at ABC Commissary, and we had dinner with our family friends. Like we kind of went out with them, and we went to like a pizzeria that was closer to their house, so we didn't have like a Disney dinner. We basically did all of the rides and attractions that you could like do in this park. Not all of them, but the ones that we like to do at least. So we started off with Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, my favorite. Then we went over to Toy Story Mania. We did Tower of Terror. I put here, Dad broke his glasses, because what happened was that he took off his reading glasses and he put them like in his little case. But instead of putting them in his pocket, he's like, oh, I don't want them to break, he just held them in his hands. But I guess when we were doing the ride, he squeezed them a bit too hard and he broke them himself. But it was kind of funny though, when we got off the ride, he was like, I think I broke my glasses. Then we did Rock and Roller Coaster. I made a note here that I felt like the lights were off in Rock and Roller Coaster. Like I feel like you see like the ride is in the dark, but there's like neon lights as you go through the ride, and I feel like I didn't see all of them I normally see, but I'm not really sure though, because I hadn't been on it in a while. So then we did.
I don't do those.
Yeah, we did Smuggler's Run, Star Tours, and Rise of the Resistance, of course, and we did do Genie Plus and pay per attraction for this. And this was also the day we moved hotel from the Marriott Grand Vista to Animal Kingdom Lodge. So we'll get to that a little bit later. But what was your initial highlight for Hollywood Studios?
There was no highlight. It's not my fault. It was very good. It's very fun to be there. I kind of thought about not going, but I always like being there, and I do like Mickey and Minnie's Railway. It's cute, and I do like going on, Toy Story Mania is that one. I do like doing that. It's fun. After that, I sit. So at least I got to rest my feet because I didn't have to walk around all day. I do a lot of sitting because I wait for you guys to go on the rides and come off. So I kind of watch people go by. I do my favorite thing of just people watching, and it was a nice day, so I really can't complain. But I have no like bad things or good things about Hollywood Studios because I kind of just went and hung out.
Yeah. Was your highlight of the day just getting to Animal Kingdom Lodge?
Yes.
Because that's what I wrote for mine.
Yeah. Highlight of the day was when we got to go over to the lodge and check our room out.
Yeah. I'll say my favorite ride in general is Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. So I always have so much fun on that ride. I absolutely love it. Toy Story Mania was really fun too.
Yeah, it was fun.
We're not really Slinky Dog Dash people. I know some people love that roller coaster, but we don't really do Slinky Dog Dash, and the line was long, so we definitely weren't going to do it then. And yeah, so that was just the few notes I had for that. But yeah, going to Animal Kingdom Lodge was so much fun. It was so great. I absolutely loved it. It was such a whirlwind too, because after we were done with Rise of the Resistance, we left the park, got back in the car, we drove to Marriott. At that point, we had all kind of already packed. So when we got back, it was only about 20 minutes. We all kind of finished packing. We were waiting around. I think it was like 3:30. We got the text message that our room was ready at Animal Kingdom Lodge, and we were planning to go meet our family friends, and we were going to leave at 4:30. So we had 1 hour. So as we sat there, we're like, all right, well, should we go now? Like we could probably make it.
Yeah, we could just go drop our bags now.
Yeah. So Amelia was just like, all right, let's go. We closed everything within seconds. We were out the door. Like it was kind of crazy. Like that decision. Be like, all right, we're going to go right now. So we have to leave now if we're going to make it in time. So we drove over there, and I feel like because it was such a whirlwind, I feel like it was even more like exciting because we had never been there before. So when you walk through the doors, it's very dark, right? Like the lobby is dark. The hotel, it's African
got a
themed.
dark, hue to it.
It's dark. And so you walk in, and then you immediately just see this gigantic tree decorated with like all the African like animals and, theming
masks
everything.
And character,
so amazing.
Just the whole lobby was absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, so gorgeous. So then we went up to our room, and then as soon as we walked into our room and the bellhop was helping us with his bags, he said like, oh, go, look outside and everything, because we did have a savannah facing room. We opened up those curtains, and the animals were just right there.
Right there.
Like
the giraffes, the zebras, the antelopes,
right
everything, just there. We were like kids in a candy store.
Yeah, no, it was so exciting, and they were just. You'll see it in the vlog too, because I'm pretty sure I'm filming that whole moment as well. I was just like, oh my god, gosh, they're like right here.
Yeah, we were in a hurry too because we knew we were just supposed to drop our bags, look at the room, make sure everything was okay, and then leave.
Yeah, so it felt like a frenzy because we're like, oh my gosh, look at the room. The room was so cool. Oh my gosh, there are animals outside. Like, all right, we have to leave. It's like, all right, get the laptops in the safe. Like, it was just like running around. But then before we left, we were like, all right, let's just see the lay of the land because we hadn't been to this resort. At least I had no memories of this resort, honestly.
No, we hadn't been there in years.
Yeah, just of like the restaurants, but not really of the resort. I just remember the restaurants.
We went there
for
dinner,
part.
right?
So we quickly ran around to see like, all right, where is like the quick service? Where is like the shop? Where is like the restaurants? Everything. Where's the bar? You know, type of thing. So we got the quick lay of the land, and then we left, went to dinner, and then we came back later that night and we got drinks at the bar. I went down to the Mara and I got the ginger giraffe cookie, which was so good. I had always wanted that cookie, so I was really excited.
So she got her
it.
favorite cookie, and
so that was really good. But yeah, it was so exciting though, just to get to Animal Kingdom Lodge and see the animals.
That was the highlight of the day because I got to tell you, I have to give the planning people who plan the Animal Kingdom Lodge. I got to give them credit. I have never seen so much detail down to every little thing you look at, the gates, the front doors, the things you sit on, the table legs, everything you look at has a detail that goes with the hotel. They went above and beyond with every detail they could possibly put in this hotel. It was gorgeous.
No, it really was.
It was just an experience.
It was. Yeah, it was just so amazing. So exciting to get there.
Yes.
But yeah, did you have any improvements for the overall day?
No, I thought the day went pretty good. Like I said, as much as I did a lot of sitting there, it went fairly well. The food at the commissary was okay.
That was my improvement. I did not think the food was good.
It was okay.
So I got their like Impossible Burger type of thing, and I will say it was my fault because I didn't realize they were going to put mustard on the burger, but they put a lot of mustard on the burger, and I feel like that's a very specific condiment
thing
that they should have said like in like somewhere closer up to that the burger was going to have mustard on it, and that you need to ask for it not to be on there. So yeah, so it was not very good.
Probably
honestly.
should have brought it back and said, "Give it to me without the mustard."
But yeah, it was not very good. The bun wasn't very good.
See, I had some kind of chicken grilled cheese or something. They don't have a very big menu, so and it wasn't bad. I can't say it was bad. It was okay.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I just didn't like the burger that much. But that was
the food in Hollywood Studios is not anything that we go for. We had lunch because we knew we weren't eating until much later. Yeah. We were just going to go for pizza much later. So we ended up stopping to have lunch so we could sit down and take some time because you had the lightning lane that we had to wait around for. Otherwise, we probably wouldn't have even ate there. We would have just left the park.
Yeah.
But because we normally don't eat in the park.
No, we know
you get a snack.
Get a snack or something.
Yeah, a snack. But we never have lunch in the park. It's been a long time since we've had lunch in the park. So, and they didn't even have a regular burger on the menu. It wasn't like I could even get a regular burger.
Well, we would have had to gone to the back lot.
Yes, we would have had to go two different places or different something. So we went there because
we probably should have just gone there because they had food there. I could have gotten, but I had never had the burger at ABC.
Right, so we figured we'd check that out. So we did. We won't go back.
All right, on Thursday, we woke up in Animal Kingdom Lodge, and that was our Epcot day. We did sleep in a little bit more, though. So we had breakfast at the Mara, which is like the quick service type of restaurant in Animal Kingdom Lodge. Then we had lunch. I had a popcorn, and my mom had a snack in Morocco. She had like these chicken skewers. And for dinner, we went to Il Molino's, which is in the Swan Resort. So for Epcot, we went on Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, Soarin', The Seas, and we did Journey of Water at night, and we also saw Lumonious, A Symphony of Us. So what were your highlights for this day?
I thought Harmonious was great.
Lumonious?
That was my highlight because that was something new for us.
I keep saying Lumonious. It's Luminous.
Luminous.
Sorry, everyone.
It keeps mispronouncing it.
Yeah, I'm adding extra letters into this word. I don't know why.
I have to admit that I thought it was very good.
I loved Luminous.
Let's preface this by saying it was at 9:30 at night and the temperature had dropped really far. I was freezing.
Yeah.
Freezing. I was like, can we go home now? Can we go home now? Can we go home now? While we were sitting there waiting for this to start. But I got to tell you, in the end, I was happy that we saw it because it was worth it.
Yeah, I thought it was such a great show.
They did a very good job updating it.
I think it was such a great show. I think it was great for Epcot. One of my favorite parts was just the fact that in the very beginning, they shoot off a firework from each pavilion and they say like welcome in whatever that country's like language and accent would be. And I thought that was really great.
That's similar to New Year's Eve when they do it from each one on New Year's Eve and say Happy New Year.
Yeah, so I just love that a lot. I feel like that really was like a nod back to Illuminations that they kind of used to do that too, where like each country like had its like little moment. I thought the overall story that it kind of told, I know some people didn't like that it was like narrated the whole time, but I didn't mind the narration.
I had a little trouble with the narration.
Yeah, I was going to say, where we stood, we couldn't really hear it very well. Because where we stood, technically we were standing behind a tree. But because the tree had no leaves, you could see right through the tree.
You could see everything.
So I think there was no speaker near us because most people probably don't stand there. But because you weren't close to a speaker, it was a bit hard for us at the time to hear like the like the words that she was saying, but you could hear the music because the music was pretty obvious to follow along with. But yeah, I liked the narration. I thought it told like a story about, you know, kind of like the overall circle of life, so to speak, about, you know, what it's like to live, to lose, and to, you know, to persevere, so to speak, through life and keep going. How we're all together, you know, we're all one type of thing. So yes, I thought it had a really great story. I thought the songs were all really great too. I do think they did some deep cuts, which I thought was interesting. Like they did a song from like Toy Story 2, which I thought was kind of interesting. Like that's, I feel like most people don't think of Toy Story 2's music ever. I know I definitely don't. Even from Frozen, they chose Into the Unknown, which is from Frozen 2, rather than like one of the songs from Frozen 1, which I feel like are more popular overall. So I thought that was kind of interesting that they kind of picked more, well, I guess they did see I Can See the Light from Tangled. Yeah, but overall, it was kind of like more like deep cut songs, which I thought was interesting. So yeah, I thought the music though was so lovely.
The water show was beautiful.
Yeah, I love the water show in the center of, you know, the lagoon. I thought that was really great. It really reminded me of the World of Color, which is in Disney or Disney California Adventure Park. So I thought that was great. I love that it was a 360 show, so you could stand anywhere on the lagoon.
You could stand anywhere and see it. I mean, even as far back as we were, where we were, you could see everything. Yes, the fireworks were up high. Yep. You could see what was going on. Yeah. Nobody's jockeying to say, oh, well, what's going on over there? What's going on? You could actually, everybody could see.
Yeah, I feel like this, like the way this show is set up is a much more successful than what Harmonious was. Not to say Harmonious was a bad show. I did like Harmonious. But again, for a show that is a 360 show where people are going to be standing around in a circle watching the show, the fact that you kind of had two views for Harmonious where you would see through that circle to see like the main part of the show just wasn't good. You know, I just didn't think that was a good idea. So I like the fact that this was a water show. You could stand anywhere, even like the fireworks that they did, like at the end, they do like these hearts, like these beating hearts in all the directions, but they do in all the directions. So we all get to see the heart, you know, type of thing. So you see the heart of the fireworks, which is really cool.
It includes everybody. You're not jockeying.
So I thought it was such a great show, and I definitely am looking forward to seeing it again. I think I would love to see it again from our favorite spot to watch the fireworks, which is over on the bridge between the France and the UK pavilion. So normally we watch it there and then we leave through the international gateway. But yeah, I would love to see it. Yeah, maybe from our favorite spot again. Although I heard Japan is also one of the best spots to see fireworks as well.
We were years ago when we used to go there, when we used to want to really see the fireworks up close, before they changed and put the restaurant there, Morocco used to have a little walkway that went down towards the water where they used to grow all their own little herbs, and we used to sit on that wall, and that used to be the perfect spot to see everything.
Yeah, but no, I had that too as my highlight was Luminous, because I thought it was such a great show.
It was great.
I'd also mention too, I did love seeing Journey of Water at night. It was really fun to go through at night.
Yes, that was
all the
good.
lights are so pretty, the way it's like lit up, the way they light up the water too. Like there was like some of the water like fountains I didn't even see during the day because it wasn't obvious, and then at night with the lights you can see it better.
They did a very nice job with the lighting.
Yeah, so lovely. And this was also the day too when we went that the World Celebration Gardens had officially opened. So it's crazy that like half the walls were taken down from where we went on Monday, then we went on Thursday, all these walls were gone. And that was also where they unveiled the Walt Disney statue. So there's a statue now of him in the World Celebration Garden. The Epcot ball's like behind him, so it's kind of like in front of him, like between like World Showcase and where Epcot is. And so you can take a photo with the statue there. I heard a lot of people said that the way they were doing the photo pass for that was really quite clever, that they haven't done that other places. That what would happen is that if you're waiting online for the photo pass photographer would come up to you next, be like, all right, what's going to happen? You're going to put your bags here. You're going to sit here. I'll take these photos for you. I'll take a photo on your phone if you want, whatever, and then you'll move on. But what happens, and then that photographer would stay with you. So then when the next family finished, they would leave, and then you would walk up with the same photographer, do that, and the other photographer who's taking the family in front of you would go back to the line and do the same thing.
Oh, okay.
So it was in this rotation, which kept the line moving a lot quicker than like the one photo pass person having to say like, all right, like repeat themselves multiple times and like eat up that time when people not sure where to put their bags, what to do to take a photo, whatever, where to sit. So everyone was saying that was quite clever because the line was pretty long for that if you want to take a photo with Walt.
A lot of people who wanted to take pictures.
I didn't even get a photo with Walt by himself. I just had to Photoshop the people out of the photo.
Well,
so
I also thought it was kind of odd that only the Photoshop people could take the pictures, because you really couldn't go up there and sit and take a picture.
Well, you couldn't, just because I mean, like everyone wanted photos for their photo pass. So
but what if you didn't have photo pass and you wanted to go and just take a picture with the statue?
I would say you probably just had to wait online and then just give them your phone because the photo pass people will take a photo with your phone.
So you still have to wait online and then just do it that way.
So you just do it that way.
Because I was saying to myself, I said, if I didn't have photo pass and I wanted a picture, I mean, I'm not allowed to take a picture.
No, you can still do it. Yeah, they probably would still take your photo with the photo pass anyway. But then you can always, like for any place you go for Disney, you can just hand them on your phone and just ask them to take a photo with your phone, and they will take their photo with your phone.
That answers the question.
I feel like a lot of people don't realize that, or they feel a bit shy asking them to do that, but they will all do it. I think the only time they didn't do it was during COVID, so like because they didn't want to be touching people's phones back and forth. But I think now, like when I did the Princess Half Marathon, I gave my phone to a lot of cast members and they took photos of me with my phone during the race. That was when it was all sweaty, so I feel like that was the height of like you're touching people's sweaty phones right now. So they took my phone during that, So, but you can ask them just with your phone,
and
they will take your photo with your phone. So that's okay. But that was really fun too. And the World Celebration Gardens is so beautiful, honestly.
It's pretty.
So
very, very pretty. The lighting at night is pretty when you walk through, because all the floors light up, everything lights up. The flowers, the things decorated for Christmas, everything about it was really nice.
Yeah, no, so pretty. So I absolutely loved it. And my mom said too that there was a lot of Christmas decor like around it as well. Like they had these big things of poinsettias that were all around, so you really still felt
they had
Christmassy
these trees
too.
made out of poinsettias and white lights that were very interesting, because I remember them from years ago, trees like that. Years ago, like I said, when they used to do much more decorating, they used to roll these buckets out of the Leland cypresses, all decorated. And then they used to also just have them everywhere. You used to walk through lines of evergreen trees. And then they'd also have these trees made out of poinsettias and things around, which they don't do anymore. But they brought them out for these gardens, which was very nice to see.
Yeah. I thought one other highlight I'd mention too is that when we did Soarin', we saw Soarin' over California, which I just hadn't seen in a while.
Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah, normally we just see Soarin' around the world. And since Soarin' around the world came out, I hadn't seen Soarin' over California. So it was fun to see the original over California one. So yeah, that was just really fun to see it again. Just hadn't seen that in a long time. So fun to mix it up. And then my only improvement for the day, we had dinner at El Molino's. I just want to say, always a great dinner. Always recommend El Molino's.
I never have a complaint about that place.
Great place.
Yes.
And then I also walked over to the Swan Resort. So I walked through the Beach Club, the Yacht Club, and the Dolphin Resort as well, just to take photos of like their displays. Yeah, I love the carousel. That's one of my other favorites too, is the carousel at the Beach Club. That's one of the greatest like gingerbread displays. And it's fun that the Yacht Club now does have, they basically have a little mini snow village, which I didn't know they did. They keep the lights off kind of dimmed in their lobby so you can see the snow village, and they have like the big gingerbread lighthouse, which is really cool. And then the Dolphin didn't have much, but the Dolphin's also like a Sheridan or something, or Westin or something.
Westin, yeah.
Yeah,
Sheridan.
so they just had the one tree. But and then the Swan had a big chocolate display, which I wasn't expecting.
Yeah,
like a full display made out of purely chocolate, which I didn't know that they had, because I feel like no one was talking about that. But it's a very impressive chocolate display.
It is very impressive.
Yeah. And yeah, dinner was great. Yeah, the only thing I want to say to improve about the day is just that the fireworks were at 9:30. I just wish they were at 9.
Well, my other improvement
was
it's so funny because I didn't mention it when we were there. When we were walking around, when we were waiting for the fireworks, because we went to see the gardens first, all lit up and stuff, and we wanted to see how it looked and what was going on, and we were going to go through the connections. I would have liked to have sat there for a while before the fireworks and said, okay, we can always walk over later, except that the music was so loud that you could not hear yourself think. They were playing the music so loud that you could not even stand in there. So that was the only thing I would have made better, because they have a lot of really nice seating. We didn't mention that around these gardens also.
Lots of seating.
Lots of nice seating, which something
lots
Epcot
of, like, tables
is
and
missing.
Chairs too.
Yes, Epcot is always missing. Like even when you go over towards when you go towards Space Mountain and all those places where, not Space Mountain, when you go over to Test Track and those places by Connections, there's no place to sit down.
Yeah.
There's really they have some of those benches, but there's no place to sit down. Well, these gardens, there's all these little enclaves with tables and chairs. I have to admit, they did a very nice job of putting that in.
Yeah, no, I would definitely agree. So yeah, it was a great Epcot day. And then on our final full day on Friday was just a fully resort day. So me and my dad went over to the French Quarter, to Port Orleans French Quarter, and I had beignets and he also had a beignet. We actually didn't have lunch that day because we ate so many beignets in the morning, and then we didn't do anything all day. We hung around the resort. And then for dinner, we actually ended up having dinner at the Mara, because do you want to say what you're
because I wasn't feeling well.
Yes.
I think that my body finally said, that's it. Okay, you've done all these long days and you've had enough. You've traveled down here. You've stood
you had 5 full park days.
5 full park days, walking like 9-10 miles a day. So I think my body finally said, nope, you've had enough.
Yeah, because on Friday my mom was
sick.
sick.
Planning to have a resort type day anyway.
Yes.
We were going to go to the boathouse for dinner. This is the 3rd time we've made reservations to the boathouse and never made it. So we said, that's it. It's jinx. We can't go. But,
yes.
But because I was not feeling great, and because all the animals were out, I think it forced us to stay in the room because I didn't want to go anywhere. I was so tired. But the idea here was that the animals come out at like 3:30. That's when they feed them.
Well, that's the thing, because like the day before we went to Epcot, we didn't see any animals all morning. We were kind of waiting around. I guess we didn't mention, we went to Kidani Village right before we went to Epcot.
Yes, we saw them there.
And we saw the animals, because Animal Kingdom Lodge is Jumbo House and Kidani Village. We were staying at Jumbo House, and Kidani Village is like the DVC part of Animal Kingdom Lodge. So when we were at our resort, we weren't seeing any animals, and we were getting a bit concerned. So we're like, well, we saw all these animals last night. How come they're not here right now? We popped over to Kidani Village by their lobby. So many animals are out. So cool. Really close up to like eating and hanging out. And then at one point, like all the animals just like moved from like one part of the savannah, like all at the same time moved to a different part of the savannah. And one of the people who worked there, one of the cast members told us is that the caretakers will play a bell for the animals so that they kind of know to move around the savannah a little bit. And he says usually when they hear the bell, they'll know to see the truck with the food come out soon, so they'll get some fresh food too. And he says all part of like their enrichment programs. And so when he said that, then coming back to Friday again in the morning, we didn't see any animals. We were waiting around all day. Didn't see animals in the early afternoon waiting around. And yeah, 3 p.m. suddenly all the antelope were there, the zebras were there, the giraffes showed up. And we're like, we must have like the afternoon slot of the savannah. Is like that's when the animals come to us. Is in like that.
And if we had gone to Disney Springs like we planned, we would have missed them again.
We would have missed them. Yeah. So it was great to see them. And I was telling my mom too, it makes sense as well because they probably have all the animals come out for like check-in time because again that day when we checked in, we saw all the animals right outside of our room. It was like amazing.
We were close to the lobby. That was one of the things when they asked you what room you wanted. I said I knew that people had talked about how long the walk was if you get one of those end rooms, and I'm like, no, good thing we didn't because at the end of the day I wouldn't have made it. But I asked for something near the lobby, and actually they did give us a room close to the lobby, so we were right where everything happened, right back there. So it was very nice.
Yeah. So again, so it made sense that like for the check-in times that and like for the lobby when everyone's coming in and looking around or like getting ready for dinner reservations, they go out on the Savannah Outlook and they see all the animals right there. So we had that like late afternoon time, which was great though. It was so exciting. They all came out. It was so cute, and this will be in the vlog too. I think the whole vlog is just going to be that same Savannah all day of just me filming. But it was so funny because like the caretakers came out. They had these special boxes for the giraffes, and she was putting food up there. Then she didn't put food down on the ground just yet. So the zebra was watching her put the food up high, and obviously he couldn't reach it. So then she drove away. And he just stood there underneath the giraffe thing, like being like, wow, there's no food here. What the hell is this? And then later on when the giraffes, and then she did come back and she put food on the ground for like the zebra and the antelope. Right. Then later on the giraffes were eating out of that box, and that zebra was back there eating the grass that was falling from the box that the giraffes were eating, which was so funny. So it was so cute to like watch the animals eat and how they kind of interacted with each other. Then right at like dinner time, like 5 o'clock or something, another caretaker came out and she put more food like right underneath the hotel room. Like it was so close, and you could hear the animals like hooves walking. Like that's how close they were. I know. And they came over and they were eating the food, and she kind of throws it around, so they have to kind of scavenge for it a little bit. But that was so exciting. That was so fun. So the fact
that we didn't get to go to the boathouse, I think we could do that another time, because I'm telling you, even though the Mara food wasn't bad, we had a 1-bedroom, so we had a table to sit at. We sat at our table, and while we were sitting at the table, we could actually see the giraffes and the zebras walking by. So it forced us to stay there, and I'm glad it did, because we just got the full experience.
Yeah, no, we did. And that was such an amazing highlight. It was just watching the animals all day. We had Hawaii 5-0 on the TV all day.
Right, because that's all that was on. The TV stations in these hotels, they don't give you much. So that was on all day just by. And like I said, because I didn't feel good, that's all I kind of did was drift in and out and kind of watch TV and look out the window to say, where are the animals? What's going on?
Yeah, and it's funny too, because as we would wait, like I'd suddenly jump and be like, there's a giraffe. And like, what? And then all three of us would run to the balcony to go see the giraffe.
And I have to say that at least by that day, it warmed up enough to sit on the balcony a little bit. On the balcony, because until that day, you could not sit on the balcony. It was so cold. Yeah. But that day, it actually even was. So everything came together to make that afternoon just so worth it. Because like I said, it was a big expense for us to go to the Animal Kingdom Lodge. It was my birthday present to myself when I booked it, because I just wanted to do it. And I said, this was our chance to do it. And it was just, it was just worth it. It was just so great.
No, I would definitely agree. Yeah, it was such a, and again, my only low light was just that she wasn't feeling well. So my mom didn't get the beignets, which is very sad.
No, I had no beignets this time.
Me and my dad got
not
beignets.
in the mood for beignets.
Yeah, so that was the only thing
very
I wish
simple,
you weren't feeling. I wish you were feeling better so you could have enjoyed the day a little bit better.
That's okay. I did enjoy the day. I felt bad too that I was holding everody back. But like I said, in the long run, I think it was a favor because we got to stay and watch all the animals.
It was so great. And yeah, again, I vlogged the whole trip, so there will be a full vlog series on the YouTube channel. So that will be linked below, of course. You can also listen to the podcast on YouTube as well. And again, when the podcast comes out, the first like episode, so to speak, the first installment will be out. And then afterwards, I guess I should mention this too. This is the last podcast for the year because next week is Christmas. So our next podcast episode will actually be on January 1st, New Year's Day. And that is when the podcast and the YouTube videos will return. So we're taking a 1-week break. We have actually not missed a single episode since we started the podcast.
Pretty
so
good. Yeah, we're taking we don't live together.
Yeah. I feel like most things and TV shows, podcasts, everything, YouTube channels always take a break the week of Christmas. So we are doing the same. No podcasts, no YouTube videos next week. But then we will be back in the new year. And again, I'll continue the vlog series for this trip. So definitely make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel so you can watch all of the vlog series. I'll say my mom and my dad aren't really in it that much because they don't like to be on camera.
I don't like the camera.
It's mainly just me. But yeah, you can definitely see everything we talked about much more in depth about like the rides we went on, the food that we ate, things like that. So yeah. So
as usual, we had a really good good time.
Yeah, no, it's actually saying it's such a great vacation.
Here and there I'd say, not going to do that again, or I would never eat that again, or not do that. It is not much of that. We just go and I believe that if you go and you just know that you just to have a good time, you will have a good time.
Yeah, no, for sure. You manifest it.
If you go with too many big expectations, you're going to be disappointed because the crowds are, I don't know what they're doing, because this whole thing of reservations so that they can control the crowds is not working. It's just driving everybody crazy. So even with the new reservation system coming in January, on certain days, annual pass holders don't need reservations. On certain days, they do need reservations.
I feel like it's just making it more confusing.
Yes. Somebody just said, why don't they just take the damn reservations away? Because that's what they used to do, and they never had a problem.
It was working for years.
Yes, it worked for 40 years.
I know, it was working for 50 years.
Yeah, almost 50 years. Okay?
50 years since
yes, so I don't understand. But like I said, if you go with the expectation that you're just going to be able to divert yourself, if something's too busy or something's too crazy, then divert yourself. There's always something else to find to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, for sure. So yeah, such a great trip. Thanks for coming
it was
to
fun.
Disney with me, Mom.
I know.
And our next trip is in May.
Amanda's already counting down.
We have like 145 days, something like that.
Well, don't be. It's not a joke.
Back.
I already started planning. Like, what do I have to do in February? What do I have to do in March? What do I have to do to make sure that we can get what we want and eat where we want and do what we want? So yes,
yeah, for sure. All right, I'll transition to just a little bit of Disney news here. So some of these things is actually what we witnessed, and some of it's not. There's a new restaurant that's open in Disney Springs. It is called Summer House on the Lake. It looks to serve a mix of all types of foods. It's like seafood, Mexican, Italian, American food, and I'm assuming it's supposed to be like all fresh food.
Yes,
like
we gotta try that in May.
They have salads. They have like raw, like a raw bar. They have like again all tacos, all different types of food.
It's supposed to be California style.
Oh, that makes sense. Like the Mexican and Italian type foods, yeah. But it looks really good. There's no reviews really yet, obviously, because it just opened. Yeah. So as of recording this, it actually opens the day that we're recording this. Okay. So so I haven't seen any reviews yet, but that is a new restaurant, so we'll have to check that out. The Rick's Sports Bar and Grill at Disney's Coronado Springs is serving a Mickey waffle on a stick with chicken tenders inside of the waffle.
Oh, chicken!
So it's a fun take on chicken and waffles, and I guess you just dip the stick into like the syrup to eat it. And people are saying that's really good. I feel like it's a very creative way to eat your chicken and waffles.
Chicken and waffles, yeah.
They look really cute. Disney is the official owner of the formula for the H2O products. That is the products when you go to the resorts. That's like the shampoo, the conditioner, the hand soap. So H2O, I think, was just ending their product line. So Disney bought the actual formula itself. So they own the formula. So that means they can continue with the beloved brand and the beloved sense of the H2O products. And also means that Disney can put their own branding on it too. So we're already seeing concepts for like the Little Mermaid being on like the bottles themselves and stuff. So like Disney can kind of Disney-fy it a little bit rather than just being like the plain blue bottles. There is a new refillable resort mug design that just came out the other day. It features all the parks, and Mickey and Minnie are also on it. We actually saw this, but the Hatbox Ghost is officially part of the Haunted Mansion. And we did see the Hatbox Ghost when we went on Haunted Mansion. So he is right after the never-ending hallway. Basically, see the never-ending hallway, and like he's right there, honestly. And he's like right to the left of it. And so so we saw the Hatbox Ghost. Very cool. I really liked seeing him. It was very exciting. We already talked about this, but Luminous has officially premiered in Epcot and its new nighttime show, as well as World Celebration Gardens. And just last but not least, there's a lot of merchandise for 2024, including their shirts, sweatshirts, shoes, even already Pandora has a charm. Lots of stuff for 2024 is starting. So we're basically in the new year.
That's right.
Very exciting. All right, and then we can just transition to a few Disney birthdays. This is just from now until the end of the year, since we won't have a podcast episode next week. So first up, we have Bruce Banner. The day that this podcast comes out, December 18th, is Bruce Banner's birthday. So happy birthday, Bruce. He's the Hulk. Elsa's birthday is on December 22nd. So happy birthday to Elsa. And Camilo Madrigal, his birthday is on December 28th. So happy birthday also to Camilo. Then we have a few birthdays also in our personal lives. So on December 19th is my cousin Chris's birthday. So happy birthday to Chris. On December 23rd is one of my closest friends, her girlfriend's birthday. So happy birthday to Steen on December 23rd. I would say not necessarily most importantly, but on December 27th is Nemo's birthday. Nemo is the cat of our family friend. And
we love him.
He is so cute. If you actually watch the vlog that's coming out for Epcot, he is going to be in that. I have a few clips of him. He is a orange and white tabby cat.
With a personality.
Yeah, he is so sweet. He is so loving, so cuddly. I love Nemo so much.
We make a joke that when we come down and visit them, we don't come to visit them. We go to visit Nemo.
Yeah, so I want to say happy birthday to Nemo on December 27th. I hope he has a lovely birthday down in Florida. All right, and that translations into our last Disney memory of 2023. So
I think just the whole week.
And I feel like this whole podcast is a Disney memory.
Yes, the whole week. Animal Kingdom's going to be a memory for me for a long time. The Animal Kingdom Lodge is going to be a memory for a while.
Oh, for sure.
I got to tell you, it was just amazing. It was just amazing. I just love it.
Yeah, like watching, and as you watch too for a long period of time, you can start to tell the animals apart. Like there were 3 giraffes.
Yes,
you could tell the 3
you could tell the
giraffes apart.
difference.
There were 2 zebra. We could tell the 2 zebra apart. Even like some some of the antelope. By the time we were watching them, we could tell some of the antelope apart, which is really cool that it's like, we've only been here for a day and we're already being able to tell the personalities of these animals.
Well, it was funny because there was even a Disney bird, a black bird, that one of the cast members pulled up in a little cart and she had to go through this little gate to go down and feed the other birds on the other side. She left the cart there. The bird jumped in the cart and started throwing her stuff out.
He threw the pen out, like the Sharpie marker. He pulled out some towels.
She was pulling them out.
And when she came back to the cart, she had to like pick it all back up.
She had to go around and pick it. She just walked around, picked everything up.
Yeah, and then went on her way. It was as she knew the bird was going to do that.
She
but
knew
it was
that
so
he was
funny
going to do that.
Yeah, it was so funny. Yeah, so seeing like
lots of nice memories.
Yeah, seeing their personalities is just so cool.
It was just
I love
fun.
That.
It was just a great memory.
Yeah, no, I agree. That was definitely my
something
memory too.
Different.
Yeah, I would love to stay at Animal Kingdom Lodge again one day in the future. So we'll see. But next time we'll be staying at Bay Lake, our home resort. We love Bay Lake as well.
We love Bay Lake, but I got to tell you, decoration wise, detail wise, underwhelming.
Yeah, in comparison to the other
all
resorts.
the others.
Just in comparison.
Just in comparison.
Yeah. But I'm excited to stay in Bay Lake as well.
Yes, we do like the convenience and the Bay Lake.
But yeah, this is definitely a long podcast episode. So thank you so much if you made it this far.
Yes.
Thank you so much for listening. Make sure you give us that one final review for 2023 on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. If you're watching on YouTube, definitely leave a comment below and make sure you're subscribed to watch that vlog series that will be coming out. So again, the first episode will be out in December 2023 and then the rest of it. And if you're listening in the future, maybe it's already all the way out. So you can definitely binge all of the vlog series. I started vlogging our Disney trips in 2019. So there's a lot of Disney vlog series to watch if you'd like to, all on my channel. Make sure you're following us on social media. We are currently Spaceship Earth Design everywhere. It will also be linked below. And we will have a dedicated Instagram post for this episode. So again, let us know what has been your favorite Disney memory recently that when you went in the parks, either in December or earlier this year. Let us know whatever your Disney memory was for the year so we can celebrate 2023, the final few weeks of 2023 with some fun Disney memories. And again, this will be our last podcast episode for the year, and we will be back on January 1st, 2024. So I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Holidays to whatever you're celebrating. Yeah, Happy New Year, everyone.
Bye-bye.
All right, well, we'll see you all.